I'm not a great lover of electric cars, to be perfectly honest, but this one had a new lease of life because it had an electric motor put into it. I don't think it really would have, it wouldn't have been out and being used if it hadn't have had that happen. So. The younger generation, they weren't sort of brought up with these, big powerful engine cars. I think they probably are all about performance, and to be honest, this car is quick. It's very quick. I mean, all electric cars are fast cars.
Perhaps needs to pop over.
There's a bend here. There's a bend in the pipe. Can the subframe drop a bit more?
That's enough.
Just be careful of kink in that, Danny. At the back.
Have you got a bit of masking tape?
Yeah.
There's always going to be the place for the perfect restoration, the concourse restoration, keeping a car original. That's absolutely core to what we do. But around all of that, lots of modification, electrification, things people want to do to make their classics personal to them as well. It's all part of this mad hobby we're in. You do take some of the soul out of a car when you swap the engine for an electric motor. But I think actually if people want to just enjoy particularly in cities, their classic in cities, and keep it clean and keep it cheap and keep it maintenance free on the whole, then yeah, an electric motor does make a lot of sense.
Changing one of these cars to electric would in some ways be a sin. I think we have to acknowledge that these cars have very limited use, so the emissions which they produce over a given amount of time I think is really small. It may become a thing we have to do in years to come if you want to take a car like this out on the road. But if those of you have experienced that 6-cylinder exhaust note, you probably really wouldn't want to do it.
Personally, I wouldn't, because the beauty about owning something like the Granada or any other classic car, from my personal point of view, is a lot of owning the car is being able to work on an internal combustion engine. You know, they all have their own characteristics, their own sounds. Maybe if I still own this car in 50 years' time, and fuel's becoming difficult, I can't source parts for the engine, then yes, definitely I would. But in the meantime, I'm quite happy to stay with a nice, lovely oily V6 engine to play about with.
For me, classic cars is a green hobby. We don't buy new stuff, we fix old stuff. It's recycling and upcycling at its best. And also, all of these cars will have gone over what you would call their carbon horizon. So the actual amount of carbon that's emitted from their construction has been spent and dealt with years ago. And these cars are literally now being kept alive and kept on the road for the cost of the fuel alone.